leftover bones, the remnants of ancient Martian battles, and even statues to unknown gods. Here are the top 10 clues of an ancient civilization on Mars. Number 10. Face of Mars. Starting today's list is the mysterious face of Mars. There's no denying this snapshot taken by NASA's Viking 1 orbiter back in 1976 is indeed a human face on the surface of Mars. Some people even say that this Mars face looks a little bit like a younger Elvis Presley. The way the face's eyes and nose are shaped, the tilt of the mouth, and its weird hairdo. Could it possibly be that Elvis Presley moved to Mars? Of course not, but there does appear to be a face built out of the rock. Whether it's an ancient ruin, a smudge on the lens, or our imaginations running wild, or some other kind of Martian construct, I guess we will never know. Or at least we won't know for now. It's not like we can simply zip over to Mars and take a look for ourselves. And now to burst your bubble. According to NASA, their Mars Global Surveyor actually cleared the mystery in 2001 when they took brand new images of the Mars face. The pictures turned out much sharper and much higher resolution, and the entire face was basically gone. Could it be the Martians knew we had seen their ancient face temple and covered it up? Unlikely. But if you look close enough at the 2001 images, you can still kind of make out a face. Number 9. Thigh bones on Mars. How is this for proof of an ancient civilization on Mars? Back in 2014, the Curiosity Rover took a photo of a pile of rocks with one rock that looked suspiciously like a human thigh bone. In fact, this looks exactly like a human femur bone. While scientists do claim that the thigh bone in question is indeed just a rock eroded by wind and possibly water, it's an incredible image to look at. There's no denying the uncanny resemblance that this supposed rock has to a bone. What makes it even stranger is that the rocks around it don't look anything like it. They're not even the same color as the thigh bone rock. There are two trains of thought about it. Either scientists are telling the truth and it really is just a rock and not an ancient bone, or they are covering up some kind of horrible truth. If you ask me, it's probably just a rock, but it is extremely fun to imagine lost bones scattered across the surface of the third planet from the sun. Number 8. Morse code. Here is an interesting one. Back in early February of 2016, NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter snapped some photos of some seriously bizarre formations on the surface of Mars. The photos they took are dark, raised bumps that happen to be a series of dunes. What's strange is that the dunes look shockingly like dashes and dots of Morse code. What are the chances that an ancient civilization on Mars could have had access to a primitive form of Morse code? Well, the chances are actually pretty slim, and the chances are even slimmer that they would have had dunes formed to spell something out, unless maybe they were trying to communicate with people on another planet who had a satellite. In any case, a planetary scientist named Veronica Bray analyzed the images of the dunes and reported that the code read nothing but gibberish. The code actually reads Ni Ned Zib 6TNN Dibid Sife Ebi CC EC. So, doesn't really say anything at all. Could it be our human imagination blowing something out of proportion? Or could this actually be an alien language in Morse code? You decide. Number 7. Fish fossil. How would you feel about a giant fossilized fish being discovered on the surface of Mars? There's been a photo circulating of something that looks like a giant fish lately, and it even has a fin on its back. The image was caught by NASA's Curiosity Rover and has been making a fuss all over the internet ever since. The shape of the rock and the lighting from when the photo was taken make it look especially fishy. If you look close enough, you can actually see a little fish mouth right where it should be. However, judging by the picture itself, that would be one massive fish. And besides, NASA did say that Mars likely never had enough oxygen to support extremely complex organisms like fish. Is NASA trying to kill our dreams? Or are they hiding something? Even if they say large fossils are not likely on Mars, we're still hopeful that one day we will discover a real giant fish frozen under the surface of the planet. Number 6. Exhaust port or dust devil? This one might be stretching the imagination. However, in an image captured by NASA's Opportunity rover in 2016, there appears to be some kind of exhaust jet shooting out from underneath the surface of Mars. While NASA says it is actually a dust devil, meaning a small tornado of dust spinning around the surface of the planet, we think it looks more like some kind of discharge from underneath the planet. Could there be some kind of structure under the surface, invisible to NASA's rovers, expelling exhaust fumes disguised to look like dust storms? Probably not. In fact, we should let the conspiracy theorists deal with this one. The truth is that massive dust devils are a serious problem on Mars. Roving towers of spiraling dust are something that we will need to be prepared for if we ever land on Mars and choose to stay there. While it is extremely fun to imagine an underground complex releasing steam, chances are this photo is simply a little dust tornado. Number 5. Remnants of war. Just imagining a primitive battle taking place on the surface of Mars thousands of years ago is enough to give you goosebumps all over. The image of what appears to be a primitive cannonball sitting on the surface of the red planet has all kinds of people speculating over what could have happened. It looks like the remnants of an old Martian war, like a small pellet that could have been fired from a weapon of some sort. The image was taken in December of 2017 by NASA's Curiosity Rover, and after a lot of speculation from the public, NASA eventually released a Twitter message detailing how the supposed cannonball is actually less than a quarter inch in size. That means it's roughly 5 millimeters. NASA went on to say that the ball is likely made out of calcium sulfate, magnesium, and sodium. However, it is still strange because the ball doesn't look like anything else in the nearby vicinity. It very much looks like either a tiny cannonball or a marble even, and it certainly does not look like the rocks around it. Plus, the ball appears to be perfectly circular, like a pool ball, and that is something that just does not happen in nature very often. Still, the safest play is to trust NASA. Number 4. Female statue. This is a big one. Nobody who looks at this image can deny that there is definitely what appears to be a massive statue in the middle of the Martian desert. The image was taken in 2007 by NASA's Spirit rover. The image itself shows some craggy rock formations, and one particular formation that looks way too much like a woman kneeling, with her arm resting on her leg than the rest of us might feel comfortable with. Could this be the guardian statue to some underground temple or ruin? Could she be the effigy of some old Martian goddess? As much as we wish this rock formation were indeed an ancient ruined statue or an old Mars god, the realism just isn't there. While many people will speculate until their teeth fall out, the Planetary Society actually came forward to call the statue an optical illusion. Apparently, this is a perfect example of something called pareidolia, which is the tendency of our brains to assign something we already know to something random that we see or hear. Basically, our brains want everything to look like something we know. Still, you can't deny that this is an incredible image, optical illusion or not. How can you not love the idea of an ancient goddess ruling over the red planet? Number 3. Strange pit. An extremely powerful image of Mars was captured by the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter in 2017. The image shows what appears to be a collapsed pit or some kind of sunken crater. This sunken hole on the surface of Mars is surrounded by a whole lot of flat ground. While the crater could be from an impact or some kind of tectonic activity, it could also be a shallow entranceway into a subterranean tunnel or underground ruin. It could even be a sinkhole or a collapsed mine. The truth is, we just don't know, and not even NASA has given a definitive answer about what this pit is. The giant hole is located in the region of Mars's south pole. Could it be a tunnel going all the way into the planet? Or is it simply an old battle scar from a hailstorm of comets? I guess we'll never know until somebody goes spelunking down into the mysterious crater. All we know is that even if we make it to Mars in our lifetimes, we don't necessarily recommend jumping into any strange dark pits when you get there. Number 2. Petroglyphs. You may be familiar with petroglyphs. They are the scribblings you can see on cave walls, frequently done by ancient civilizations thousands of years before text messaging, before paper, and definitely before ink. Petroglyphs can be found all over the world, all of them associated with ancient civilizations. Some of the more famous petroglyphs would be the Nazca lines in Peru. These formations can only be seen from above the ground in a helicopter or airplane. Enter the lava coils of Mars, strange petroglyphs that immediately bring to mind the Nazca lines. These swirls do not look like they could possibly have been made by nature itself. They look like swirls done by a human or alien hand, as if drawn with a huge stick. However, a team from the University of Arizona claims that the lava coils are actually the result of what happens when two lava flows moving in opposite directions meet and then swirl together. and apparently the aftermath of these lava swirls is now etched into the surface of Mars. But we think it's more fun to believe that they were put there on purpose. Number 1. Ancient God Statue. At the top of our list, coming in at number 1, is a rock formation that looks just like an ancient god. This rock looks so much like a crumbled statue that even we find it difficult to not believe. This picture was taken by NASA's Mars Opportunity rover back in 2015, and it immediately gained a ton of attention, and it's easy to see why. Not only does it look like the head of a statue sitting on a pile of rubble, but it even looks like a particular god here on Earth. People noticed right away that the rock in the photo from Mars looked strikingly like a Neo-Assyrian attendant god dedicated to Nabu, a powerful god of wisdom. You would definitely recognize the similarity if you looked at the two side by side. The only difference is one statue sits on Mars, and the other is in the British Museum. Which of these amazing Martian discoveries do you think most suggests ancient ruins located somewhere on Mars? Let us know in the comments below, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for another amazing video. Thanks for watching this episode. Did you like the video? Tell us what you think in the comments below, and be sure to like, follow, and subscribe.